Boker Or. Masechet Sanhedrin Daf Yomi Daf Kuftet Amud Aleph 109a1. We're going to start on 108b towards the bottom. The story of Nachum Ish Gamzu. Gamzu Letova. Yeah, Gamzu Letova. So it says Nachum Ish Gamzu. Havaragil Davasalkele. He used to come and always say Gamzu Letova. Yom Achad, one day, Bau Yisrael Shudur Doron LeKesar. They wanted to send a present to the Caesar. Amri, they said, Behade. Man Neshader, who are we going to send it with? Now we're on the top of Kuftet Amud Aleph, 109a on the top. Right? Who are we going to send the present with? So Neshader, but then Nachum Ish Gamzu. We want to send it with Nachum Ish Gamzu. Why? He's Melumad Ben Isimava. He's known for all his miracles. Nachum Ish Gamzu has a lot of miracles. Kimata Lahi Diura, when he got to this place, Baile Mevat, right? So he wanted to stay there for the night. Amri Lei, so the Deireh Sanya said, Maika Badach, what do you have? Amalu, he says, "Come that I'm bringing a present to the Caesar." Kamu belayla, so they came in the nighttime. Vesharinu lesifse, they went and they opened it up. Shaku, they took everything which was inside. Umalinu afra, and they filled it with afar. They filled it with dirt. Yeah, kimat lahata. When he got over there, ishtaka chafra. All of a sudden, they come, they give it to the king, right, to the Caesar. And what is it? It's afar. It's dirt. So Amari says, "Achuchi kamechaychi biyudai." Says what? They're making a laughing stock out of me? Yeah? That's like somebody that's instead of learning Torah, he's they're making a laughing stock out of the Torah. So he comes and he says, Afku lemiktele. They took him out to get killed. They took him out to get killed. So he says, Damar, he says, Gamzu letova. He says, Gamzu letova. Yeah? Ata Eliyahu, came Eliyahu Navi, idam lukecha minayu. And he appeared as one of them. Amar Leu, he told him, Dilmaya Afra me Afra de Avraham Avinu. He said, maybe the Jews brought you from the Afar of Avraham Avinu. Tavashad de Afra, that they used to throw the Afar. Vavuchar ben, he used to turn into swords. Imagine you were able to do that. Imagine you take the earth, you come and you throw it, and it becomes swords. Pamal. Imagine it becomes drones. It becomes yeah. Davashad de Afra. Vavuchar ben. Gile used to throw cash, straw, and it used to become the missiles. It used to become the arrows. Right? What? What who? Avraham Avinu. Avraham Avinu. Yeah? So Baduk, they found it, they checked it. And that was exactly what happened. So there was a city that they couldn't conquer it. They went and they started throwing all this earth on it. And they conquered it. They went and they were so happy with this Nachumash Kamzu. They brought him into the Caesar's royal chambers. Amri, and they said, take whatever you want. Take whatever you want. So what happened? So he filled it up full of gold, right? Now when he was coming back, they went and they told him, what did you do with the king? So he said, whatever I took from here, I gave to them. Whatever I took from here, I gave to them. I gave to the king. That's what he tells them. So they said, what? They started saying, what's going on? They went, they filled it up with earth. They thought he was going to be killed. And they stole all the jewels and all the things. And all of a sudden, he got to the Caesar. Now he's going to get rewarded. So they went and they said, something's wrong here. So Shakli inu amtulatam. They went and they took all the earth, right? And they went over there. And they told the Caesar, listen, this comes from us. This earth was our earth. What happened? Katlinu lehanach diure. They checked it out and they found that it was not correct. So what happened? They killed them. So they killed these guys. So what goes around comes around, right? They went and they started fooling. They got killed at the end. Okay. Next story. Dora Palaga. The Dora Palaga, Dora Flaga for Ashkenazim, right? So Dora Palaga is a generation, right, of the people that they come and they built a tower of Babylonia to reach the heavens and fight against the Almighty God. So Dora Palaga, they do not have a chelek l'olam haba. So Amre Deve Rabbi Shila, says Rabbi Shila, right, in the academy of Rabbi Shila, Nivne migdav v'na'aleh l'rakia v'nakeh oto bekardumot sheyazuvu meimav. So they went and the Dora Palaga, they came and they said that they wanted to build a tower in order to go up on it, right, to where they have all the rain and everything, and they want to hit him right, with all these axes and hammers and everything, right? In order that all the water should come out, right? That basically and then there's another, he can't punish them because if they destroy all the water from the Mabul, right? How did the Mabul destroy them? From water. If you take all the clouds and you hit everything and all the water is going to come down, they can't bring a Mabul anymore. You destroyed their, right? You destroyed their, still, but they wanted to fight. So Mach'ula b'Ma'arava. So in Eretz Yisrael, they came and they laughed at this. If so, livnu echad betura, right? Just build it on one of the mountains. Saying, what's smarter? Are you going to come in from here down here, the sea level? You're going to come and you're going to start building a big tower to get to the Shemayim, or go to the tallest mountain in the world, and from there start building upwards, right? You did half the job already. Yeah, makes sense, no? You do half the job. So, but rather, Amar Rabbi Yirmiyah, right? Bar Elazar says Rabbi Yirmiyah Bar Elazar, nechleku l'shalosh kitot. Really, there were three different groups. We brought this down, by the way. Right, there were three different groups in the Dora Palaga. Three different groups. One of them said, "Na'alev neshev sham." We want to go and we want to live there. We want to live on Mars. We want to live on the moon. Yeah. One of them said, "We want to live there. Let's go up there and we want to live there." V'achat omeret. One of them says, "Na'alev na'avod avodat kochavim." No, we're going to go up there, but we're going to do avodah zarah. V'achat omeret. And one of them says, "No, we're going to go up there and we're going to do milchama. We're going to do war." Right, against HaKadosh Baruch Hu Kiviyachol. So each one was a different reason why, right, that they didn't want to build a dafka on one of the tall mountains, right? Because what's the connection, right? At the end of the day, right, they just wanted to actually live there, right? Or they wanted to actually come and start fighting against. So it's nothing to do with it, yeah. So fine. So he comes and he says, okay, there's a lot of what to speak about here. So he says like this: Zosho Mered, the one that said, "Na'alev neshav sham," we're going to live there in order that we don't get a mabul. Hefitzam Hashem, Hashem came and He dispersed them amongst the world. The Zosho Mered, the one that said, "Na'alev neshav," we're going to go up and do war against Hashem. Na'asu kofim v'ruchot, they became kofs, they became monkeys, right? And ruchot and shadim and lilim, right? We said, if you remember, it's actually Masechet Shlomo, right, that he brings down, that he says that it's brought down that they became monkeys and elephants. And that's why we make the bracha Mishaneh Briot on monkeys and elephants. Why? Because we didn't, the opposite of Darwin, we didn't come from monkeys came from us. Right? That's why they say that monkeys are compared to human beings, and the elephant is the most intelligent animal. You could teach the elephant 70 languages, and he will be able to understand you. Right? The elephant is very, very intelligent. Yeah? So fine. Vezusho Mered, now the group that comes and says, Na'alev na'avod avodat kochavim, that we're going to go up and we're going to serve avodah zarah. Hisham balal Hashem sfat kol haaretz. So he went and he changed their languages. Meaning, the first one he just came and he dispersed them. The second one he made them into kofim, ruchot, and shadim lilim. Right, all these demons and all these other things as well. But the last one, right, he came and he actually changed their languages, so therefore they couldn't get together to do avodah zarah together. Tanya, we learned to the Braita. Rabbi Natan says, "Klum, kulam l'Hashem avodat kochavim nitkavnu." Because no, really, be'emet, all of them wanted to do avodah zarah. Why? It's written over here, right? V'na'aseh lanu shem. We're going to make for us a name. And it says over there, Shem, the name of other gods. You should have mentioned. Just like over there, it's mamash avodah zarah. So 2 years avodah zarah. So it comes out that the only purpose of doing it was for avodah zarah. That's why they wanted to build, right, this tower. Amar Rabbi Yochanan, says Rabbi Yochanan, Migdal, shlish nisraf, shlish nivla, v'shlish kayam. Do you know what happened to the Migdal? Imagine, they built a huge tower. You know what happened to it? A third, which is the top third, completely got disintegrated. It completely got burnt. Very tall, obviously. The first top, completely burnt down. The bottom top, the bottom part, right, the bottom third, was swallowed in the ground. Meaning, it how do you call it? It was sucked in, into the ground, and only the middle half, right? The middle third is what's left over, right? Which is on the karka. Okay, that's what Rashi brings down. Okay, here in the footnote, he brings down a whole thing about that. It was again with the three different chalakim. So the one that went to the Zara, the one that each one, right, accordingly. But basically, it was destroyed. Amar Rav says, Avir Migdal Mishakeach, right? The avid of this migdal is going to make a person forget, because that's what HaKadosh Baruch Hu did, right? That if anybody comes and he sees the avid of this migdal and everything that sees, he's going to start forgetting things, right? But that's why they forgot the languages. So Amar of Yosef, Bavelu Busif, Siman Ra'al Torah, and that's why if you're going to have in the avid of the migdal, right, it's a bad for the learning of the Torah, because you're going to forget the learning. So says the Gemara, what is Busif now? Amar Avasi Bor Shafe. It's a bore that became empty. Because anybody that goes into the city, he forgets his learning, just like a bore becomes empty of his learning. So it's a city. Okay, it's fine. That was here. It says that Bavel and Busif are two different cities, right there in Babylonia. Fine. Okay, next. Anshe Sedom. Anshe Sedom also they don't have a Chelek Olam Ba. Right, this is during the time of Sedom. So he comes and he says, Anshe Sedom. They don't. Why? Because it says in the pasuk, right? Ra'im, they were evil. That's ba'olam hazeh. Hataim and sinners. That's l'olam haba. So therefore, because of the pasuk, we learn that they don't get chelek le'olam haba. So now he comes and he says, Amar of Yehuda says of Yehuda, Ra'im. What does it mean they were evil? They gufan with their bodies because they were doing all this immorality. Chataim, sinners, and mamunam with their money. Ra'im begufan, they were evil with their bodies. The Chtiv says the pasuk, Yosef Tzaddik comes and he tells the wife of Potiphar, how am I going to do this bad thing? Because that's why he says Ra'ah, the word bad, evil, refers to immorality. Because he comes and he says, I can't do this. How do you know that? You're going to have a sinner. Here we're talking about somebody that does not give money as a loan, right? Because of that, maybe Shemitah is going to cut it off or not. So therefore he says, Vaya bechachet. So chataim means with money. La Hashem. Birkat Hashem. That's blessing Hashem. Obviously, it's the opposite of blessing of Hashem. Me'od, shemitkavnim v'chotim. Me'od means that they're doing it with malicious aforethought. You know what that means? They're thinking about it beforehand, how to do bad, how to do evil. Premeditated, exactly. Malice aforethought, right? Mm-hmm. Aforethought means you're thinking. That's his mafia crew name. Premeditated. B'matznita Tana. They learned in the Matznita. Ra'im b'mamonam. Chataim begufan. The exact opposite. Beforehand, we said that Ra'im, evil, was with their bodies, and Chataim, sinners, was with their money. And now we're learning the opposite. Evil was with their money, and sinners was with their bodies. Ra'im b'mamonam dichtiv. It says v'ra'ayinecha be'achicha evyon. It's going to be bad in the eyes, right? In your eyes, your brother, the desolate, the destitute, the one that's poor. Okay, v'chataim begufan dichtiv v'chatat el Elokim. I'm going to sin to my God. Again, that's Yosef and Potiphar. Really, Be'emet, Yosef actually used both terminologies. He says, Ech se hara'ah ha'gedolah lezot v'chatati lelokim. So technically, he also used ra'ah and he also used chet, chataim. So technically, Yosef Tzaddik used both terminologies. So each one is learning a different. La Hashem is Birkat Hashem, the same thing. Me'od shfichut damim. Shfichut damim, they murdered. Shneimar gam dam naki shafach min hashe harbe me'od. A lot. So when it says me'od, a lot, it means that they were murdering. So they were murdering people. That is the people of Sodom. Tanu Rabbanan, we learned in the Braita. Anshe Sodom lo nitga'u ela bishvil hatovah sheishpi'a lahem HaKadosh Baruch Hu. We learned this already. The Anshe Sodom, why did they become so evil? So HaKadosh Baruch Hu gave them so much bracha that they came and they were haughty in that bracha, and therefore they became evil. What's written? Eretz mimena yetzelechem. Right? And Eretz at the beginning, they had so much bread and everything. And then afterwards it became all fire. A place where the afar was already zahav. Nativ lo yidao ait. The way that they didn't know the ganavim, velod meaning the thieves. Velo shezavto en aya, and they didn't actually come and start checking with meraglim. Lo yidrichu bereshachatz. They didn't come and have wild animals. Lo ada la shachal, and they didn't have lions on them. Amru, they said, why do we need people to come? Meaning, if we already have everything, why do we need people to come here? If we have everything, we've got money, we've got this, we've got that. Why do we need outsiders? So he says, they only come to take our money. They only come to take our money. Yeah? So he says, they're only coming to take our money. So so why don't we just come? We're going to take the Ovrei Derachim to get rid of them, get rid of all these people that are coming. Shneimar, Paratz Nachal Mi'imgar, Hanishkachim Meni Regel, Talu Menosh now. What does that mean? They come and say, why do we want that? Right? And it's true, why do we want that? Yeah, 100%. Okay. Fine. Darash Rava. Rava comes and he expounds. What does it mean in the pasuk? Ad anato tetu al ish tiratzechu chulechem kikir natui kadere dechuya. What does it mean that until when are you going to start thinking about bad things? Melamed shayu notrim enehem beba'ale mamon moshvin oto etzel kir natui v'dochin oto alav u'ba'im notrim mamuno. These guys were incredible. Yeah? Are you listening? These guys were incredible. What did they used to do? They saw a person that he has a lot of money. They live in these certain places, this, that, they have a lot of money. So what happens, right? They come and they used to put them, right? They used to put them right by a kir natui. You know what a kir natui is, Richard? A kir natui is a wall, which is a little bit shaky. Yeah? He used to put them by a shaky wall, right? What do you think is sitting there? A shaky wall. All of a sudden, what happens? Right? Somebody used to come on the other side. Whoops! Yeah, whoops. And what happened? Kaddish. What happens after that? He used to take all his money. So he says, so Rava comes and he expounds. What does it mean in the pasuk? Chatar b'choshech batim yomam chatmu lamo lo yadeu or. What does that mean now? They used to come and they used to look at these guys that they had a lot of money. They used to give him an afarsemon. Why? Because the afarsemon will tell you where they are and where their things are hidden. But they used to place it, right? What does that mean? If I'm going to give you, imagine right now, Richard, I'm going to come to you, I'm going to tell you, Richard, can you watch something for me? But it's very, very precious. So what do I come? I give you, let's say, something very expensive. Now, where's the first place where you're going to put it? If it's very expensive, in the safe. So now the problem though is that this farsamon had a smell. So therefore, automatically, when I used to give it to Richard, and Richard puts it in safe, it's like a GPS device. Automatically, it's giving me the coordinates, right, of exactly where is your safe. And then what happened? La'erev in the nighttime, they used to come, and they used to start smelling around, just like a dog. Shneimar, yashuvu la'erev yemucha kelev v'suvuid. Ubaim v'chotrim sham, they come, they start digging for the safe, then they come and they take all his money. You saw how they used to do these things? Incredible. These guys were masterminds, right? Of how to trick people and getting their money and stealing their money. And it wasn't just nowadays they come and they put something on the phone and this and that. Yeah. Fine. Arom yalinu mibli lavush. He come and he said they used to come and they used to steal the clothing of the aniim. So he says, Ven kesut bakaran. There was no clothing for them to protect themselves from the cold. Chamor yitomim minhagu. They used to come and steal from the chamor of the yitomim. Right? Yichbelu shor almana. They used to take the shor of the almana. Ve'gvulot yasigun. They used to come and be masig gvul reu, which means they used to do the competition, take people out of the things. Ad eder gazlu ve'yereu. They used to come and they used to graze in other people's fields. Let's slow down already. Ve'uli kvarot yubal. Yeah, bring it here. Exactly, bring it here. Bring it here. That's it. Yeah. So therefore, he comes and he says, right, they're like an ani ve'vion. Yeah, fine. Darash Rabbi Yosef et Tzipori. So says Rabbi Yosef and Tzipori. Yeah, right. So he comes and he says like this. He was doresh. Do you know that they went and they dug 300 machterot in order to find the reach parsemon, right? 300 of them. To find out the Bategen Azot of the Ashirim. Atu v'kamentzarule. So they came and they were causing problems to Rabbi Yossi. Amrule yavitor chele ganave. He says, what? You're giving nachaderech to the ganavim. Amar lehu. They told him, Miava yadana date ganve. He says, what? I would have known they're going to come and they're going to go to the drasha. Right? I would have thought that there's only going to be coming to the drasha people which are not going to be suspected, right, for Pishe Sedom. So if I would have known that there's going to be ganavim that are going to come, I wouldn't tell them the ways of Sedom. What does that mean? Meaning, he came and he started telling them. That's why it's very, very careful, by the way. You have to be very, very careful.
A bomb making.
Exactly, because many times when I come and I give you an idea, if all the people are clean, so Baruch Hashem. But what happens if you have a trickster in the crowd? You just give him the idea. You give him the idea how to trick. So therefore, they came to him and they told him, what are you doing? Because of you, look what they did. You just taught them how to steal like Sodom, right? You just taught them how to do that. So he went and he said, listen, I thought that the people that come to my shiur, they were clean people. You see that they're not all clean people. Sometimes people come to shiurim and they're the biggest crooks in the world, right? So therefore, it's a big problem. What do you want me to do? So he says, Ki kanach nafsheh, the Rabbi Yosef. He comes when the Rabbi Yosef comes and he passed away. Shafu marzeve de tzipora dama. Right? The marzevim of Tzipori, they spilled blood. Right? Because since he was right, he was a very, very big Adam Gadol. It doesn't mean mamash blood, it just means it was like
bitter tears.
Yeah, hot bitter tears, exactly. Okay.
Dale.
Okay. Amri. They said, yeah, De'it le chad Torah, right? This is the people of Sodom. Whoever had one shore, mare chad yoma, he's obligated to come and take all the animals in the city one day. Teletle, but if you don't have, you have to take it 2 days. Yeah? Meaning that if he doesn't have to worry about his own shores, so therefore he's got time to do it for everybody else. So therefore, in Midat Sodom, it was, if you have one shore, so 1 day a week, you have to come and take all the shores out. But if you have no shores, so then you have even more time. So therefore, take out 2 days. It was mamash. It's a. By the way, you should know. I once actually heard that that's what they do many times. That, for example, that if you have a property, you have to pay property tax. What happens if you have nothing on the property? Apparently, you could be that you have to. Yeah, just land. I think you have to. I think not only you have to pay. I think you have to pay even more. I think. No, are you sure? So but for sure you still have to pay. Now, why? That's what we're saying over here. Ah, yeah. Okay. Hau Yatma bar al Melata. It was a Yatom, the son of an Almanah. Havu letrei lemare. So they gave him a shore in order to come and to graze. Azal shaklinu v'katlinu. He went and he took all of them and he killed them. Amar lehu. So the Yatom comes and he tells the Balesh Shvarim Kuftet Amubet 109b. De'it le Torah nishkul chad mashka. He says whoever had one shore, he should take one skin. Telet le Torah, but whoever doesn't have any shores, nishkul tre mashke, should take 2 skins. Amrule, they went and they told them, "My high, what are you talking about then? What type of what does that mean? You know, like how are you coming and how does that make sense?" Amar lehu sof dina kitchila dina. He says the end result is like the beginning result. Matchila dina, just like the beginning. Dile Torah mare chad yoma, v'delele Torah mare tre yoma. Sof dina dile Torah dishkul chad, delele Torah dishkul tre. Everyone understood what happened. One more time, right? One more time. What happened is that you had a yatom. Now this yatom was the son of Elmaleh. He didn't have any shores. So what did they give him? They gave him to do how many days? 2 days, right? 2 days. Very good. So they gave him 2 days, right, in order to come, in order to do it. Now he got all upset. Why? He's saying, this is not fair. I don't have any shores. Why in the world do I have to take care of the shores? So what did he do? He killed all of them. And when he kills all of them, he comes and he tells everyone, listen, whoever had one shore, right, can take 1 skin. But whoever does not have any shores, they could take 2 skins. So now all of a sudden, these guys, they wake up and they say, hey, one second, how does that make sense? Saying, why in the world does somebody that does not have any chelek, any portion, why in the world should he get 2 skins? So he went and he said, the beginning rule is like the end rule. What was the beginning rule? Whoever had one shore has to take care of it 1 day. If you don't have any shores, you have to take care of it 2 days. So the end result is the same. Whoever had one shore can only take 1 skin from the animal. But whoever didn't have any shores, he could take 2 skins from the animal. He put them in their place because now they don't have an answer. Yeah? Fine. Another crazy thing that they had in Sodom. Right? If somebody's going to come and he's going to go through the water, right? So, and he's going through a bridge, he has to give 1 zuz. But if he went through somewhere else, he had to pay 2 zuz. Meaning, if you're not going to use a bridge and you're going to use another thing, so I have to pay 2 zuz instead of 1 zuz. Beforehand, you were paying 1 zuz. Imagine you're going through the toll, it's $10. But if you don't go through the toll and you're going somewhere else, you have to pay 20. Yeah? Tahavale dara delivne, somebody that had shurot levenim, right, that he put to himself, eat kol chad vechad shak lechada. All the people of Sodom would come and they would take 1 to themselves, right? Now, when they used to come and they asked him, Amaleh, he says, Anachada, he says, what? I only took 1. What did I make? Imagine, I only took one brick. Like, what are you lacking? Only 1 brick. So he said, somebody that had shum or batzal. You know what shum and batzal is? Right? Garlic and onions. They used to come, they used to take 1 each. Right? So he says, what happens is, Elmaleh, he says, he says, what? I only took 1. Meaning, it was such a small amount.
Generation of the flood.
Yes. Right, but it was such a small amount, you can't do anything with it. So what do you want to, imagine I'm going to come and Richard, I wrote with your pen a little bit. Yeah, I only wrote one thing. You can't demand me on that. But by the time that everybody does that, they completely took away all his onions, or they took away all his garlic, or they took away everything that he has. Because if you have that every single person is going to come and take one, come on, that's it. There were 4 judges in Sodom. Shakrae, Shakrurae, Zaife, Umatzledina. Right? One of them was called Shakrae, liar. Shakrurae, the head of the liars. Right? Zaifan, he was the forger. Zayef, the forger. Umatzledina, the one that used to tilt used to make the judgment, how do you call it? Twist it. It's a twist judgment. When a person will come and hit his friend's wife, and because of that, let's say she had a miscarriage. So imagine somebody goes to his friend's wife, calls her Amrule, they used to tell him, Yavu nihala nihalach. Right? You have to come and you have to hit, you have to give to your friend's wife, that's what you took away. So what do you have to do? You have to sleep with her in order to get her pregnant. Beforehand, she was pregnant. You caused her to have a miscarriage, so now you have to get her back the child. How do you give her back the child? You have to sleep with her, right? And therefore, that's how you're going to give her back the child, right? And therefore, that's how you're going to give back the husband, right, his child. What?
It's upside down.
If he went and he cut off the ear of the chamor of his friend, they would tell him, right? You have to hit it, right, until it's going to come on another chamor, right? And that's why it's going to come, and it's going to be, right, the parallel chavre, when he hit his friend, you have to pay him, right, because he let out the blood for you for free. Imagine, I come to a guy, boom, he gives him a box in the face, he starts bleeding. Pay me up. Why? I just bloodlet you for free. Pamal, no? Pamal. I know certain people that they do that. Yeah, fine. The avar b'mabara yahivar ba'azuze says if you go by with a boat, you have to pay 4 zuz. The avar b'maya yav tamne zuze. But if you go right swimming, you have to pay 8. Zimna chada. Once happened. Atahu koves. It was a koves that came. Now he didn't know anything there. Ikla lahatam. He goes over there. Amru le'avar. Give us 4. Amalu ana b'mayavre. He says, what? I went through the water. Amru le. So if so, you have to give us 8. So he didn't give it. Padyuhu. They hit him. They came in front of the dayanim. Amarle, he says, Havle agra de shakel dama. Now you have to pay them because they bloodlet you. Now you have to pay them because they bloodlet you, and you have to pay them because you went through the water. So you have to pay them 8 zuz instead of 4. Yeah? Fine. Eliezer Eved Avraham, Mitra Mehatam. Eliezer Eved Avraham went to Sodom. Padyu, they hit him. Atala Kamedayana. He came in front of the Dayanim. Amalahu, Havle agra de shakel dama. Shakal glala padyu iu ledayane. So he took his makel and he hit the dayan. Amar, he went and he said, "My high, what is this?" Amarle, he says, "Agra de nafak liminach have niale lehai vezuze didid kedekaime kaime." He says, "No, very good. You know what it is. What? Now you have to pay me because I just hit you, right? Imagine he took out the makel and he beat up the dayan, the judge. So he comes and he says, the money that now you have to pay me, you pay the other guy, and my money is staying by me." Eliezer David Abraham was not a friar. He knew how to work with these people. Havya lehu puriata. There was a mita there. Tavumagne ala orchin. That they used to put the orchin there. Ki ma'arich, if it was longer than the mita, gaizile. They used to come and used to cut off his feet. Right? Why? His height is too much. Ki guts, if he was too short, matchile. They used to stretch him out.
The rack.
On the rack. They used to stretch him out. Yeah? So Machtilei, right? They used to come do that. Eliezer Amru, they said, Kumgane Apuria, go on the bed. Amar Leoni says, Nidra Nidre min yoma de mitati malo ganina Puria. He says, no, from the day that his mother passed away, he's never going to come and sleep on a bed because of Avelut. And because of that, he was saved. Meaning they used to come, come, sleep on this bed. And then according to that, they used to do whatever they needed to do. Sodom va'amorah. Fine. Kiavu metramolu anya. When an ani used to come to Sodom, yavu lekol chad v'chad dinara. They used to come and they used to give him a dinar. Uchtiv Shemei Alena was written their name on it. Rifta lo mamtele, but they never used to give them bread. Kiavimait, at the end when the ani used to die, because they used to give him money, but he didn't have bread, and nobody would give him bread. So imagine everyone's coming, they're giving him tzedakah, but they all have the money on every single coin, they have their name. So when he used to die, Ati kulcha v'chad shakil did they used to take the money back. Oh, these guys were incredible. Yeah? They made a condition between them. Anybody that comes and he invites somebody to the wedding, right? They used to take off their mazmin, they used to take off the clothing. There was a Sudan Eliezer got there, right? They didn't give him bread. When he wanted to eat at Eliezer came to the Sudan Nisuin. And he sang at the end, right? Amrulo, they said, who invited you? Elmaleh he says, right, the one that's beside me. What, you invited him? Amar Dilma Shame be Diana Zmanti, who says, maybe you heard that I was the one that was the thing. And then they're going to take off his clothing. So because of that, Shakal Glima Udiyati Gabe, right? And he ran, right? He ran away. So Eliezer did that to everybody. That means basically Eliezer kept on saying that the person beside him was the one that invited him. And then they took off, and then they ran out. They went in running. Until everybody ran, and then he was able to eat the Suda. Eliezer, he knew how to deal with these people. So he got rid of everybody, and then he was able to eat the Suda all by himself. Havia Ravita, it was a girl, a Na'ara. She took it out with a kad. You remember we said that this was actually the daughter of Lot, according to the Yonatan and Oziel, the daughter of Lot. Igalia Minta, then they found out that it was her, that she was giving the food to the Aniyim.
The straw that broke the camel's back.
Exactly, right? Because it says
very bad, very bad.
Right? So he says, Shafua Duvsha. They put her in honey. Ukma Liga Shura, and they put her by the Chomatayid. Ata Zibur Vachlua, and came all the dvors, all the bees, and they ate her up to death. Right? They dipped her in honey, and they just made sure that she was going to be killed. And that's what's written because it has to do with the Rabba. Rabba is like the Riva, the girl, the Na'ara. Or Haketza is the screaming of the female, which is basically the daughter of Lot over here, that she was giving to the poor people the bread, and then she got caught. Meraglim. Yeah, the Meraglim. אין להם חלק לעולם הבא. שנאמר וימותו אנשים הוציא את דיבר הארץ במגפה, וימותו בעולם הזה במגפה לעולם הבא. They died in this world, and they died in the next world. Adat Korach אין להם חלק לעולם הבא. Also, that Korach, they don't have חלק לעולם הבא. שנאמר, ותכעס עליהם הארץ. Right? The world will cover on them. What does that mean? He comes and he says, בעולם הזה, ויעבדו מתוך הקהל, he comes and says, לעולם הבא. These are the words of Rabbi Kiva. So, I mean, remember, according to Rabbi Kiva, since it's written two terminologies to do with the destruction, so it's talking about בעולם הזה and בעולם הבא. Rabbi Eliezer says, the pasuk says, what are you talking about? He brings them down to the shul, he brings them down to Ginam, but he's going to bring them up. Vayal, he's going to bring them up. So therefore, according to Rabbi Eliezer, Adat Korach will get Olam Haba, because even though he put them down in Ginam, into the shul, but he's going to bring them back up. We learned to the Braita. Adat Korach en lahem chelek Olam Haba, שנאמר, ותחס להם ולא זבל, ידעו בתוך גם לעולם הבא, דברי רבי עקיבא. רבי יהודה מתנה אומר, הרי כעבדה מתבקשת. It's like an aveda, which people are looking for it. Shneimar, Taiti kisove bakesh avdecha, right? You're looking for the seh which got lost, the sheep that got lost, and you're looking for it. Kimitzotecha lo shchakti, because I didn't forget your mitzvot, which means that they're looking for them, right? But really, be'emet, right? That maybe be'emet that tefillah of David was accepted. That be'emet they were actually going to be taken out of Geinam. Vayikach Korach. What does it mean there? Yilikach. Amar Shakir says lakach nekachla latzmo. He took a bad sale for himself. Korach shnasa korcha b'Yisrael. He became lacking. That's what means Korach. We're basically making like a play on his name. Ben Yitzhar, the son of Yitzhar, and Shirtiach alav kol haolam katzaorayim. He was the son that even got everyone angry at him, right? Just like the tzaorayim, just like in the middle of the afternoon, right? That it's the kids, it's very very strong in the tzaorayim, right? Ben Kehach, Ben Sheikash Shinam Molidav. He went and he caused embarrassments because of his bad name, right? He caused embarrassment to everybody. Ben Levi, Ben Shenasal Leviya beginam. He became a Geinam. He became like the Livui. He was a company to Geinam by everybody, because remember, everybody was there when he went down. He was swallowed into the ground to go to Geinam. So Levi is Leviya, company. When you do, right, when you do the, like a Levaya, right? Levaya. Okay? So ask the Gemara, why doesn't it say Ben Yaakov? Meaning you're going to say Korach, Ben Torah, you're going to say Korach, Ben Yitzhar, Ben Levi, Ben Yaakov. if you're already going up in the genealogy, in the lineage, go up to Yaakov Avinu. So he says, Ben she'akav atzmo leGeinam, that he went and he put himself to Geinam. Amar Rav Shmuel bar Yitzchak. So Rav Shmuel bar Yitzchak comes and he answers, Yaakov Avinu asked for mercy on himself. Shneimar, v'istomam tovot nashim b'kalam t'chak avodi. Besodam, what does it mean? When it has to do with their kahal, which is kahal korach, I don't want to be there. Besodam al tovot nashim is minaglim. That's why they didn't go up to Yaakov Avinu by the minaglim. And also b'kalam zutecha, right? This is the ketach kvodi. That's a korach. So that's why korach was not. That means even though obviously Korach came from Yaakov Avinu, it didn't bring it up to Yaakov Avinu because Yaakov Avinu already asked, please, I don't want to be mentioned. Okay? Until here we're clear. Datan. We know that there was Datan Aviram there. Datan shavar al dat el. He went against the religion of Hashem. Aviram shiber atzmo me'asot teshuvah. He destroyed himself from doing teshuvah. On she'ashav ba'anyunut. That he was sitting in Sa'ar. What does that mean? He did teshuvah, and that's why he wasn't together with. This is Ben Pelet, that his wife saved him. You remember the famous story that the wife came out curling her hair in public?
Yeah, they were very frum.
Yeah. Okay, Baninut. Pelet. What is Pelet? Shenasu plaot. That he was saved from the Adat Korach. Right? Ben Reuven, Ben Shrav Hevin. He saw and he understood. Reu is Ra'ah, the Ben Hevin. He looked and he understood what was going on. Amar Rav says, Ben Pelet, his wife saved him. Amar Aleh, she told him, what's the nafkamina? Imor Rabban Talmidav, Imor Rabban. If Moshe Rabbeinu was a leader, you're still a student. And if Korah's a leader, you're also still a student. So what do you gain? Meaning, if you're going to gain something, that's one thing. But here, you're not getting anything. Either way, you're the student. So Amala, he says, what am I going to do? He said, I swore to them already. I swore to them, meaning I gave them allegiance. I pledged my allegiance. So he says, Amrale, so she told him, Yadana de Kulu Krisha. I know that they're very, very holy. Amra, she says, don't worry about it. Tuf, just rest. I'm going to save you. He gave him wine until he became a little bit drunk. He put him in the inside. Otval Bava, and she went to the petach of the Oziel. She comes and she opens up her hair. Hadar. He comes, he sees, what's that? She doesn't have her hair covered. Hadar, and they went back. So the and that's when that Korach, they were swallowed up alive, and therefore the wife actually saved them.